Hello, hello. It's Mark with Museum of Us. I want to talk about Aunt Robbie in chapter 30. I hope that you have someone in your life like we had Aunt Robbie. She was the only girl in a family of four boys, one girl. She grew up in East Texas on a cotton farm that her father had built and was raised there. So it's a very wonderful East Texas cotton farming, truck farming family life, and that's who she was and where she came from. And then when she left, she got married, went into the big city for a while, but then came back and lived roughly 65 years in this home, just 400 or 500 yards away from her family home, period. It's hard to talk about her because she was so sweet, so angelic. I can't find enough exemplary words to describe her personality. We all loved her dearly. She passed away in 2019, sadly, very peacefully, and I'm so grateful for that. But let me tell you about how she lived. She was an angel. She was just the kind of person you just always wanted to go see and visit. She was always listening. She was always there. She was always so angelic. It's really hard for me to find the words. I may have to do another video just to get close. But here's my point. I got to spend quite a bit of time talking with Aunt Robbie about her history, our family's history. She really taught me a lot of things that went into this book about the value of curating and recording stories about pictures, recording stories about stuff. I talk about the family table that she had and the stories that she remembered about it. But what I noticed, and I think the real gift that Aunt Robbie gave me for this book, was this notion that I think that there needs to be a stretch goal for all of us about what our lives look like when we're at peace, what we would refer to as God's peace, having that kind of peaceful lifestyle, period. And I'm pretty sure she had it, and it was reflected in how she lived, it was reflected in who she was, and how she interacted with us. But here's the most important thing I can say in terms of what it means to me to offer a chapter about having an Aunt Robbie's Day. Having an Aunt Robbie's Day is a day in which you are anxious for nothing and you just enjoy life. I make the very specific point that you're healed of enough, could or should be, enough stuff in your house and around that you enjoy, the art, the music, the photos, the artifacts. Not too many, not too few, but just enough. Just like Aunt Robbie did at her house. She was so comfortable in her little home there. She lived by herself until she passed away because she had just enough stuff, not too much, not too little. I could go on and on about this, but I'd really like to make the point that for me, having an Aunt Robbie Day is a goal that everybody should have, to have a peaceful, wonderful, still, happy, thoughtful, creative, reflective lifestyle with just enough stuff around you to support those days, whatever that may be. Books, music, magazines, a comfortable chair, pictures, and etc. Whatever it is for you. But she had it. And I feel like that's, for me, has become the goal of the book, is to encourage people to get to the point where their stuff doesn't overwhelm them, the clutter doesn't overwhelm, the responsibility to hand things down has been handled with because we've curated it. So I spent quite a bit of time recording stories with Aunt Robbie of photos and things like that, and so I've got those for our family, her grandchildren, and etc. And so she was already very calm, but she got to be more and more calm knowing that it had been recorded and etc. And let me finish with this. At the back of this book, I give you a book of questions about questions you can ask when you start dealing with stuff. But she and I discovered something accidentally that I think was probably one of the best tools that I've discovered in writing the book and suggesting for you to do. I set a family portrait of her and her brothers and her mom and dad that was taken in 1929, 1930 in front of the family house there in Lufkin. And I put it in front of her. I turned the recording on, and I said, "What do you see in this picture?" And she went on for like 45 minutes about this brother and her mom, and see how mom's dress was, and dad, and this way, and the photographer, and the house, and how the house was built, and etc. So much history just in one photo. And then I thought she was done, and she said, "Oh, look around the side of the building. Do you see Dad's car?" And she went on for another 15, 20 minutes about the car and what it meant to him, and etc. So I got this hour and a half recording of Aunt Robbie talking about this family, this one picture, this one family portrait. And I think she was a lot calmer after she had told that story, period. And I'm so grateful that I've got a recording of that, period. And she was like pretty nonplussed. I told the story, and she went back to having her Aunt Robbie day, period. So in the end, I would hope everybody has an Aunt Robbie in their life, somebody that's angelic, that listening, that caring, that compassionate for other people. What David Brooks calls in his book, the second mountain, that just where they are. And then two, that as a result of having that kind of a person, we learn to live properly and well with a limited amount of stuff, but everything in our life that matters, everything that we care about, fully present and fully used and fully enjoyed day by day by day. So bless you, Aunt Robbie. Thank you so much for all that you did for us and our family. And I hope that her legacy is to impart to you the opportunity to do the same thing with your stuff and your family. God bless.